The skies above Earth burned. Massive HFY warships, their obsidian hulls gleaming with malevolent energy, hung in low orbit like harbingers of doom. Streaks of plasma fire rained down upon the last bastions of human civilization, reducing centuries of progress to ash and rubble. In the depths of the Rocky Mountains, within a secret facility known only to a handful of Earth's leaders, Dr. Ilara Chen stared at the holographic display with a mixture of despair and determination. The evacuation countdown ticked relentlessly in the corner of her vision, a stark reminder of humanity's impending exodus. "Status report," she demanded, her voice steady despite the weight of billions of lives resting on her shoulders. Captain Miguel Reyes, his usually pristine uniform now creased and stained with days of continuous combat, stepped forward. "The outer defenses have fallen, Doctor. We estimate no more than 6 hours before the HFY breached the mountain." Ilara nodded, her fingers dancing across the holographic interface. "Then we have no choice. Initiate Project Exodus." A hush fell over the command center. For 5 years, they had labored in secret, pouring every ounce of human ingenuity and desperation into a single audacious plan. Now the fruit of their labor would face its ultimate test. Deep beneath their feet, in a cavern large enough to house a small city, the celestial ark hummed to life. Nearly 2 kilometers long and bristling with technology barely understood by its creators, the ship represented humanity's last, best hope for survival. Klaxons blared throughout the facility as Ilara's voice echoed over the comm system. "This is Dr. Chen. All personnel, report to your designated evacuation stations. This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill." As chaos erupted around her, Ilara felt a hand on her shoulder. She turned to see Admiral Helena Zhao, her mentor, and the driving force behind Project Exodus. "It's time, Ilara," Helena said softly. "You need to board the Ark." Ilara shook her head, gesturing to the streams of data flowing across her screens. "I can't leave yet. There's still so much to do, so many systems to check." "You've done all you can," Helena interrupted, her voice gentle but firm. "The Ark needs its creator at the helm. I'll oversee the final preparations from here." Tears welled in Ilara's eyes as the full weight of the moment crashed down upon her. She embraced Helena fiercely, knowing in her heart this would be the last time they would ever see each other. "Thank you," Ilara whispered, "for everything." Helena smiled, a glimmer of pride shining through the sorrow in her eyes. "Go, make us proud." With a final nod, Ilara turned and raced towards the Ark's primary access tunnel. As she ran, the mountain shook with the impact of HFY's weaponry. Dust and debris rained down from the ceiling, a grim reminder of the enemy's relentless advance. Ilara emerged into the massive cavern and gasped. Despite having overseen every aspect of its construction, the sight of the celestial ark never failed to take her breath away. Its sleek, silver hull gleamed under the harsh floodlights, its form a perfect blend of aesthetics and function. This was to be humanity's new home among the stars, carrying the hopes and dreams of an entire species. As Ilara approached the main airlock, she saw Captain Reyes waiting for her. "Dr. Chen," he said with a crisp salute, "the Ark is ready for launch. All essential personnel are aboard, and we've loaded as many civilians as we could accommodate." Ilara's heart ached at the thought of those left behind, but she pushed the pain aside. There would be time for mourning later. Now they needed to survive. "Very well, Captain," she replied, stepping into the airlock. "Let's make history." The interior of the Ark was a hive of activity as crew members rushed to their stations, preparing for the most important journey in human history. Ilara made her way to the bridge, her mind racing with last-minute calculations and contingencies. As the blast doors slid open, revealing the Ark's nerve center, Ilara felt a surge of pride. Here, surrounded by the most advanced technology Earth had ever produced, she could almost believe they had a chance. "Dr. Chen on the bridge," announced Lieutenant Zara Okoro, the Ark's young and brilliant navigator. Ilara took her place at the command station, her fingers flying over the controls as she initiated the launch sequence. "Status report," she ordered. "All systems nominal," reported Chief Engineer Raj Patel. "Antimatter drive is primed and ready. Shields at maximum capacity," added Security Chief Lyra Novak. "Weapons systems online and standing by." Ilara took a deep breath, steeling herself for what was to come. "Initiate launch countdown. T-minus 60 seconds." As the seconds ticked away, the cavern began to shift. Massive hydraulic lifts groaned under the Ark's weight, slowly tilting the ship into launch position. Above them, the mountain's peak began to split open, revealing a star-filled sky marred by the looming shapes of HFY warships. "They've detected us," Lyra shouted, her hands flying over her console. "Enemy ships moving to intercept." Ilara's jaw clenched. "Divert all non-essential power to shields. We only need to survive long enough to reach slip space." The countdown reached 0, and for a moment, all was silent. Then, with a roar that shook the very foundations of the Earth, the celestial Ark's antimatter drive ignited. The ship surged upward, bursting from its underground cradle in a blaze of light and energy. The HFYs, caught off guard by the sudden appearance of such a massive vessel, scrambled to respond. "Multiple incoming projectiles," Lyra warned, her voice tight with tension. "Evasive maneuvers," Ilara commanded. "Zora, plot a course out of the system. Raj, I need everything you can give me from that drive." The Ark shuddered under the impact of HFY's weapons fire, but its advanced shields held firm. They climbed higher, pushing through the atmosphere as enemy ships closed in from all sides. Just as it seemed they might be overwhelmed, the antimatter drive reached full power. Space itself seemed to twist and bend around the Ark as it punched through the fabric of reality, leaving Earth and the HFYs far behind. In the sudden, eerie silence of slip space, Ilara allowed herself a moment of relief. They had escaped, but at what cost? She thought of Helena and the billions left behind, sacrificing everything to give the Ark its chance. "We made it," Captain Rice said quietly, voicing the disbelief they all felt. Ilara nodded, her eyes fixed on the swirling vortex of slip space visible through the bridge's main viewport. "We made it," she echoed. "But this is just the beginning." As the celestial Ark hurtled through the unknown, carrying the last remnants of humanity towards an uncertain future, Ilara Chen made a silent vow. They would survive. They would find a new home. And one day, somehow, they would reclaim the Earth. The journey of the celestial Ark had begun. Journey through the stars. The celestial Ark drifted through the vast emptiness of space, a gleaming beacon of hope carrying the last remnants of humanity. 3 months had passed since their dramatic escape from Earth, and the initial elation of survival had given way to the harsh realities of their situation. Dr. Ilara Chen stood before the assembly of crew and civilians in the Ark's main atrium, her face illuminated by the soft glow of holographic star charts. The murmur of the crowd died down as she began to speak. "My fellow humans," she said, her voice steady despite the weight of leadership, "I know these past months have been difficult. We've lost our home, our loved ones, and for many, our sense of purpose. But today, I stand before you with news that may rekindle our hope." A ripple of excitement passed through the gathered crowd. Ilara gestured to the star chart, zooming in on a particular system. "We've detected signs of an advanced civilization in the Proxima Centauri system. Our long-range scans indicate technology that may be on par with or even surpass our own. We believe they may be able to assist us in our fight against the HFYs." Captain Miguel Reyes stepped forward, his expression a mix of hope and caution. "Doctor, are we certain it's safe to make contact? We can't risk leading the HFYs to another innocent species." Ilara nodded, understanding his concern. "You're right, Captain. That's why we'll approach with utmost caution. We'll send out encrypted probes first, establish communication before revealing our location." As the crowd dispersed, Buzzing with renewed energy, Ilara felt a tug on her sleeve. She turned to see Zara Okoro, the young navigator, her eyes wide with excitement. "Dr. Chen, I've been studying the star charts, and I think I found something interesting," Zara said, pulling up a holographic display. "There's an anomaly here, just at the edge of the Proxima Centauri system. It doesn't match any known natural phenomena." Ilara leaned in, her scientific curiosity piqued. The anomaly appeared as a swirling vortex of energy, pulsing with an otherworldly light. "Fascinating," she murmured. "We'll need to investigate this further." "Good work, Zara." As the Ark approached the Proxima Centauri system, tension mounted. The crew worked tirelessly, preparing for first contact while simultaneously studying the mysterious anomaly. Ilara split her time between the bridge and the science labs, poring over data and running simulations. 2 weeks into their approach, they received their first response from the system's inhabitants. Chief Communications Officer Liam Walsh's voice crackled over the intercom, thick with excitement. "Dr. Chen, Captain Rice, you need to see this." Ilara and Miguel rushed to the communications center, where Liam was decoding an incoming transmission. As the message resolved itself, a holographic figure materialized before them. A tall, elegant being with iridescent skin and large almond-shaped eyes. "Greetings, travelers," the alien spoke, its voice a melodious hum. "We are the Aetheri. We have long awaited your arrival." Ilara exchanged a startled glance with Miguel. "You were expecting us?" she asked cautiously. The Aetherial nodded, a gesture surprisingly similar to human body language. "We have observed your journey from afar. Your escape from the Givriks was most impressive. We would be honored to welcome you to our world." As the Ark entered orbit around the Aetheri homeworld, a planet of shimmering oceans and crystalline cities, Ilara couldn't shake a sense of unease. Everything seemed too perfect, too convenient. Her suspicions were confirmed when, during their first diplomatic meeting, the Aetheri revealed their true nature. "We are not of this universe," the Aetherial leader, Zixeri, explained. "We come from a realm beyond, drawn here by the great calamity that befell your species. We believe you may be the key to restoring balance to the cosmos." Ilara's mind reeled with the implications. "The anomaly we detected is that you're doing." Zixeri nodded. "It is a gateway, Dr. Chen, the bridge between realities. With your help, we can use it to strike at the heart of the Givriks Empire in a way they could never anticipate." As the Aetheri shared their knowledge, the crew of the Ark found themselves thrust into a cosmic war far beyond anything they had imagined. The anomaly, they learned, was part of a network of quantum gateways scattered throughout the universe. By harnessing their power, they could potentially outmaneuver the Givriks and reclaim Earth. But the knowledge came at a price. To utilize the gateways, the Ark would need to be significantly modified with aetherial technology, a process that would fundamentally alter the ship and potentially its crew. Ilara faced the most difficult decision of her life. The Aetheri offered power beyond their wildest dreams, but at what cost? Could they trust these enigmatic beings, or were they trading one form of subjugation for another? As she grappled with these questions, tensions arose among the Ark's population. Some, like Zara, were eager to embrace the Aetheri's offer, seeing it as their best chance for survival. Others, including the pragmatic chief engineer Raj Patel, urged caution. "We don't understand half of what they're proposing," Raj argued during a heated council meeting. "We could be compromising the very thing that's kept us alive all this time." Captain Rice, ever the voice of reason, proposed a compromise. "What if we allow a partial integration of aetherial tech? Enough to give us an edge, but not so much that we lose control of our own destiny." Ilara nodded slowly, seeing the wisdom in his words. "Agreed. We'll proceed with caution, testing each modification thoroughly before full implementation." As the integration process began, the Ark underwent a stunning transformation. Ethereal crystal matrices merged with human technology, creating systems of unprecedented power and efficiency. The ship's hull shimmered with a new otherworldly energy, while its interior spaces seemed to defy the very laws of physics. But with each passing day, Elara couldn't shake the feeling that they were playing with forces beyond their comprehension. The crew began reporting strange dreams and inexplicable phenomena throughout the ship. Ghostly apparitions flickered at the edge of vision, and whispers echoed through empty corridors. Then, just as the final stages of the integration were nearing completion, disaster struck. An alarm blared through the ship, jolting Elara from a fitful sleep. Unidentified vessels approaching. Lyra Novak's voice rang out over the comm system. They've breached the Atheres' defensive perimeter. Elara raced to the bridge, her heart pounding. As she burst through the doors, her blood ran cold at the sight before her. A massive Jivrix battle fleet hung in orbit, their weapons primed and ready. How did they find us? Miguel demanded, his face ashen. Before anyone could respond, a familiar, chilling voice filled the bridge. One they hadn't heard since that fateful day on Earth. Did you really think you could hide from us forever? The Jivrix overlord's laughter echoed through the speakers. Your pitiful alliance with the Aetheri ends now. Surrender the Ark, or watch as we reduce this world to ashes. As the crew of the Celestial Ark faced this new terrifying threat, Elara realized that their journey through the stars had led them to a crossroads. The choices they made in the coming moments would determine not only their own fate, but potentially that of the entire universe. With a deep breath, she stepped forward, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The true test of the Celestial Ark, and of humanity's resolve, was about to begin. The Forge of Destiny. The bridge of the Celestial Ark crackled with tension as the Jivrix ultimatum hung in the air. Dr. Elara Chen's mind raced, calculating possibilities and potential outcomes. She turned to Captain Miguel Reyes, their eyes meeting in silent communication. We need more time, Elara said, her voice low and urgent. Stall them. Miguel nodded, stepping forward to address the Jivrix overlord. We require time to consider your generous offer, he said, his tone carefully neutral. Surely a civilization as advanced as yours can grant us that courtesy. A harsh laugh echoed through the speakers. You have 1 hour, humans. Use it wisely. As the communication cut off, Elara sprang into action. Zora, plot a course to the quantum gateway. Raj, I need every ounce of power you can give us. Lyra, coordinate with the Aetheri Defense Forces. Doctor, Liam interjected, his face pale. I'm detecting unusual energy readings from within the Ark. It's coming from the ethereal modifications. Elara's brow furrowed. Show me. A holographic display materialized, showing a pulsing network of energy coursing through the ship's systems. As they watched, the energy began to coalesce, forming a swirling vortex at the heart of the Ark. By the stars, Zara breathed. It's creating its own quantum gateway. Elara's eyes widened as understanding dawned. The Ark is evolving, adapting to the threat. It's giving us a way out. But before they could act on this revelation, the ship shuddered violently. Alarms blared as Lyra shouted, multiple impacts. The Jivrix are firing on the Aetheri defenses. We're out of time, Miguel growled. We need to move now. Elara made a split-second decision. All hands, brace for emergency translocation. Zara, set coordinates for the gateway. The Celestial Ark surged forward, its newly evolved systems humming with power. As they approached the swirling vortex of the quantum gateway, Elara felt a moment of doubt. Were they jumping from the frying pan into the fire? With a flash of blinding light and a sensation of reality twisting around them, the Ark plunged into the unknown. When the light faded and the disorientation passed, the crew found themselves in a realm beyond imagination. Swirling nebulae of impossible colors stretched as far as the eye could see, punctuated by floating islands of crystal and light. Where are we? Miguel asked, his voice filled with awe. Zixeri, the ethereal leader who had accompanied them, stepped forward. This is the forge of destiny, the nexus of creation itself. Here, at the crossroads of realities, we can reshape the very fabric of existence. As the crew marveled at their surroundings, Elara's scientific mind kicked into overdrive. If we can harness the power of this place, she mused, we might stand a chance against the Jivriks. But their wonderment was short-lived. A violent tremor shook the Ark, nearly knocking them off their feet. What was that? Lyra demanded, her hands flying over her console. Liam's face paled as he studied his readings. It's the Jivriks. Somehow, they've followed us through. Outside the Ark, a massive Jivriks warship materialized, its obsidian hull seeming to absorb the light around it. Smaller craft poured from its hangars, swarming towards the Ark like angry insects. Battle stations. Miguel roared. Raj, we need those weapons online now. As the crew scrambled to defend their ship, Elara turned to Zixeri. You said we could reshape reality here. How? The ethereal's large eyes blinked solemnly. The forge responds to will and intent, Dr. Chen. But to truly harness its power, one must become one with it. The process is not without risk. Elara's jaw set with determination. Show me. As the battle raged outside, Zixeri led Elara to a chamber deep within the Ark. At its center stood a pulsing crystal, thrumming with otherworldly energy. This is the heart of the ethereal modifications, Zixeri explained. Through it, you can connect with the forge. But be warned, the experience can be overwhelming. Elara took a deep breath, steeling herself. I understand. What do I need to do? Place your hands on the crystal, Zixeri instructed. Open your mind to the possibilities of the multiverse. But most importantly, hold on to who you are, Dr. Chen. Your humanity is your anchor. As Elara's palms touched the cool surface of the crystal, her world exploded into light and sensation. She felt herself stretching, expanding, becoming one with the ship, with the forge, with reality itself. Glimpses of possible futures flashed before her eyes, worlds where humanity triumphed, worlds where they fell, and countless variations in between. She saw the Jivriks not as the monsters they had become, but as they once were, a species driven to desperation by their dying world. And in that moment of cosmic understanding, Elara knew what she had to do. Back on the bridge, the situation was growing dire. The Ark's defenses were holding, but barely. The Jivriks' onslaught seemed endless. We can't keep this up much longer. Raj shouted over the din of battle. The power core is reaching critical levels. Suddenly, the ship hummed with new energy. The ethereal modifications glowed with an inner light, and a holographic projection of Elara appeared before them. Everyone, listen carefully, her voice echoed, seeming to come from everywhere at once. I've seen what we need to do, but I can't do it alone. I need you all to focus your thoughts, your hopes, your very will on defeating the Jivriks, not through destruction, but through transformation. The crew exchanged bewildered glances, but years of trust in Elara's leadership won out. One by one, they closed their eyes, focusing their thoughts as instructed. As their collective will merged with Elara's cosmic awareness, the forge of destiny began to respond. Reality itself seemed to ripple and shift around them. The Jivrik ships faltered, their weapons falling silent. A blinding light engulfed both the Ark and the enemy fleet. When it faded, the crew of the celestial Ark found themselves back in normal space, orbiting a familiar blue-green planet, Earth. But something was different. The Jivrik ships were still there, but transformed. Gone were the ominous obsidian hulls, replaced by gleaming vessels of hope and peace. As communications channels burst to life with confused and joyous messages from Earth, a transmission came through from the lead Jivrik ship. Humans of the celestial Ark, a voice said, filled with wonder and remorse. We remember now. What we were, what we lost, what we became. You have given us back ourselves. How can we ever repay this debt? Ilara, her consciousness slowly returning to her body, smiled wearily. By helping us rebuild, she said softly. All of us together. As the reality of their victory sank in, the crew of the Celestial Ark realized that their journey had only just begun. They had not only saved humanity but had forged a new destiny for two civilizations. The Forge of Destiny had lived up to its name, and the universe would never be the same. Battle for the Nexus. The celebration aboard the Celestial Ark was short-lived. As the initial euphoria of their return to Earth faded, the crew found themselves facing a new set of challenges. The transformation of the Givriks had sent shockwaves through the galaxy, upsetting delicate power balances and igniting old conflicts. Dr. Ilara Chen stood before the United Earth Council, her face projected on screens across the planet. The weight of her recent cosmic experience still lingered, giving her words an otherworldly gravity. The Forge of Destiny has given us a second chance, she explained, her eyes scanning the faces of Earth's leaders. But with this power comes great responsibility. We've reshaped one reality, but there are countless others where suffering continues. We cannot stand idly by. Captain Miguel Reyes, standing beside her, nodded in agreement. The Ark is more than just a ship now. It's a bridge between realities, a means to right the wrongs across the multiverse. The council chambers erupted in a cacophony of voices, some supportive, others skeptical. Admiral Zhao, one of the few familiar faces from before their exodus, raised a hand for silence. Dr. Chen, Captain Rice, while your achievements are nothing short of miraculous, we must consider the risks. Are we prepared to potentially make enemies across realities? Before Ilara could respond, alarms blared throughout the chamber. Screens flickered to life, showing a massive energy disturbance in Earth's orbit. Incoming transmission. Liam's voice crackled over the comm. You're going to want to see this, Doctor. The main screen filled with the image of a being unlike anything they had encountered before. It appeared to be made of pure energy, its form constantly shifting and reshaping. Humans of Earth, the being spoke, its voice resonating on multiple frequencies simultaneously. I am Nexus, guardian of the cosmic balance. Your actions in the Forge of Destiny have not gone unnoticed. You have upset the equilibrium of the multiverse, and for that, there must be a reckoning. Ilara felt a chill run down her spine. What do you mean, a reckoning? She asked, fighting to keep her voice steady. Nexus's form pulsed with barely contained power. The Forge was never meant to be wielded by mortal hands. Its power must be contained, sealed away to prevent further disruption. Surrender the Celestial Ark and relinquish your knowledge of the Forge, or face the consequences of cosmic law. The transmission cut off, leaving the chamber in stunned silence. Admiral Zhao turned to Ilara, her expression grim. It seems, Doctor, that the decision has been made for us. We cannot risk the safety of Earth. But Ilara shook her head, a fire burning in her eyes. No, we've come too far, sacrificed too much to give up now. The Forge gave us the power to make a difference, to help those who cannot help themselves. We have a duty to use it responsibly. Miguel stepped forward, his hand resting on the hilt of his ceremonial sword. I stand with Dr. Chen. The Ark and its crew are prepared to face whatever challenges lie ahead. As debates raged in the council chambers, the crew of the Celestial Ark prepared for battle. Raj and his engineering team worked tirelessly, integrating the knowledge gained from the Forge to enhance the ship's systems. Lyra drilled the security forces, preparing them for combat in impossible geometries of space-time. Zara, her young face etched with determination, pored over multidimensional star charts, plotting courses through the quantum gateways. If we can reach the Nexus point, she explained to Ilara, we might be able to reason with this guardian, show them that our intentions are pure. But as the Ark prepared to depart, a new complication arose. A faction of humans, led by a charismatic senator named Victor Kane, demanded that the ship remain on Earth. The Ark belongs to all of humanity. Kane's voice boomed through protest rallies across the globe. Its power should be used here, to solve our problems, not gallivanting across realities. The controversy threatened to tear the fledgling United Earth apart. Ilara knew they had to act fast, before the situation spiraled out of control. Under the cover of night, the Celestial Ark lifted off from its docking station, escorted by a joint fleet of human and reformed Jivrix ships. As they ascended through the atmosphere, Nexus's forces appeared, massive constructs of energy and matter that defied conventional physics. All hands, battle stations. Miguel's voice rang through the ship. Zora, plot a course for the nearest quantum gateway. Raj, I need everything you can give me from those engines. The space around Earth erupted into chaos as the battle began. The Ark weaved through the conflict, its advanced systems allowing it to dance between realities, phasing in and out of normal spacetime. Ilara stood on the bridge, her mind connected to the ship through the ethereal modifications. She felt every impact, every surge of power as if it were happening to her own body. Through her link, she coordinated the Ark's defenses with a precision that would have been impossible through conventional means. But even with their enhanced capabilities, the odds seemed insurmountable. For every Nexus construct they destroyed, two more took its place. The Allied fleet was being decimated, and the Ark's shields were beginning to fail under the relentless assault. In a desperate gambit, Ilara reached out with her consciousness, trying to communicate directly with Nexus. Please, she projected her thoughts into the cosmic ether. We only want to help. There must be a way we can work together, to use the Forge's power for the greater good of all realities. For a moment, the battle seemed to pause, as if the universe itself were holding its breath. Then a response came, not in words, but in pure conceptual understanding. Nexus was not a single entity, Ilara realized, but a collective consciousness of guardians from across the multiverse. They had seen civilizations rise and fall, wielding powers they couldn't comprehend, leaving devastation in their wake. Their caution was born from eons of cosmic tragedies. With this understanding came an opportunity. Ilara opened her mind fully, sharing the experiences of the Ark's crew, their struggles, their triumphs, and their unwavering commitment to using their power responsibly. As the exchange of cosmic knowledge flowed, the battle around them began to shift. The Nexus constructs ceased their attack, instead forming a protective barrier around the Ark and the remaining Allied ships. On the bridge, the crew watched in awe as reality itself seemed to warp and change. When it settled, they found themselves in a realm beyond imagination. The true Nexus point, where all realities converged. Ilara opened her eyes, finding herself face to face with a beam of pure radiance. Nexus, in its true form, was both beautifully simple and infinitely complex. We have misjudged you, Ilara Chen. Nexus communicated, its thoughts resonating through the fabric of space-time. Your species is young, but your potential is vast. Perhaps it is time for a new approach to maintaining the cosmic balance. As understanding dawned, Ilara realized that this was not an end, but a new beginning. The Celestial Ark and its crew would not be stripped of their power, but instead tasked with a grand purpose, to become the new guardians of the Forge, protectors of the multiverse. The battle for the Nexus was over, but the true challenge was just beginning. As Ilara turned to her crew, she saw in their eyes the same mix of awe and determination that she felt. Well, she said, a smile tugging at her lips, it looks like we have a lot of work to do. As the Celestial Ark prepared to embark on its new mission, Ilara couldn't help but feel a sense of cosmic irony. In seeking to save humanity, they had found a way to safeguard all of existence. The journey ahead would be long and fraught with challenges, but for the first time since leaving Earth, Ilara felt a true sense of purpose. The Celestial Ark, once a lifeboat for a doomed species, had become a beacon of hope for all realities. And its crew, the last survivors of a destroyed Earth, were now the vanguard of a new cosmic order. Echoes of the past. The celestial ark hung suspended in the swirling energies of the Nexus, its hull shimmering with the power of countless realities. Inside, the crew was still coming to terms with their new role as guardians of the multiverse. Dr. Ilara Chen stood before a holographic display of interconnected realities, each one a potential adventure, a crisis to be averted, or a mystery to be unraveled. Captain Miguel Reyes joined her, his face a mixture of awe and concern. "It's overwhelming, isn't it?" Miguel said softly. "The responsibility we've been given." Ilara nodded, her eyes never leaving the display. "But we can't shy away from it. We've been given a chance to make a real difference, not just for humanity, but for all sentient life across the multiverse." Their contemplation was interrupted by an urgent call from the science lab. "Dr. Chen, Captain Reyes, you need to see this immediately." Zara's voice crackled over the intercom, an edge of excitement in her tone. When they arrived at the lab, they found Zara and Raj huddled over a console, their faces illuminated by a pulsing energy signature. "We've detected an anomaly," Zara explained, her fingers dancing over the controls. "It's unlike anything we've seen before, a tear in the fabric of reality itself." Raj nodded, his brow furrowed in concentration. "And it's not just any tear. The energy signature. It's similar to the Forge of Destiny, but older, much older." Ilara leaned in, her scientific curiosity piqued. "Can we get a visual?" The main screen flickered to life, showing a roiling mass of energy, shot through with veins of darkness. As they watched, the tear seemed to pulse, sending ripples through the surrounding space-time. "It's beautiful," Miguel breathed, "and terrifying." Ilara's mind raced with possibilities. This could be the key to understanding the true nature of the multiverse, maybe even the origin of the Forge itself. But before they could discuss further, alarms blared throughout the ship. Lyra's voice came over the comm, tight with urgency. "Multiple breaches detected. We're being boarded." The security feeds showed chaos erupting throughout the ark. Shadowy figures phased through walls, engaging in fierce combat with the crew. But these weren't ordinary intruders. Their forms shifted and changed, as if they weren't fully part of this reality. "All hands, battle stations," Miguel commanded, drawing his weapon. "Ilara, we need to secure the bridge." As they raced through the corridors, fighting off waves of the shadow creatures, Ilara's mind worked overtime. These beings, whatever they were, seemed connected to the tear they'd discovered. But how? And why attack now? They burst onto the bridge to find Liam desperately trying to lock down the ship's systems. "They're trying to access the Forge protocols," he shouted, his fingers flying over the controls. Ilara made a split-second decision. "Liam, initiate Emergency Protocol Omega. Full integration with the Ark's systems." Miguel's eyes widened. "Ilara, are you sure?" The strain cold. "We don't have a choice," Ilara cut him off, already moving towards the central console. As she placed her hands on the interface, she felt the familiar rush of connecting with the Ark's consciousness. But this time, she pushed deeper, allowing her mind to fully merge with the ship's vast network. The world around her faded away, replaced by a cosmic tapestry of information and energy. She could sense every part of the Ark, every crew member, every intruder. And beyond that, she felt the pulse of the multiverse itself. With her enhanced perception, Ilara finally understood the nature of their attackers. They weren't creatures at all, but echoes, fragments of realities that had been destroyed, seeking to reclaim their lost existence. And the tear they'd discovered, it was a wound in reality, a remnant of some ancient cataclysm that had shaped the very structure of the multiverse. As this knowledge flooded her consciousness, Ilara knew what she had to do. With a thought, she activated the Ark's quantum defenses, phase-shifting the ship's hull to a frequency that the echoes couldn't penetrate. The shadow creatures flickered and faded, their forms dissipating like smoke, but the victory was short-lived. The strain of full integration was taking its toll on Ilara's mind and body. As she felt herself slipping away, drowning in the vast sea of cosmic information, a familiar presence reached out to her. Nexus, the guardian consciousness they'd encountered before. "You have seen the truth, Ilara Chen." Nexus communicated directly into her mind. "But this is only the beginning. The echoes are a symptom of a greater illness that plagues the multiverse. Will you be the cure, or will you succumb to the same fate as those who came before?" With a gasp, Ilara found herself back on the bridge, supported by Miguel's strong arms. The crew looked at her with a mixture of relief and concern. "What happened?" Miguel asked softly. "You were gone for a moment there." Ilara took a shaky breath, her mind reeling from the experience. "I saw everything. The origin of the multiverse, the creation of the Forge, the rise and fall of countless civilizations, and I saw what we're truly up against." Over the next few hours, as the Ark regrouped and repaired the damage from the attack, Ilara shared her vision with the crew. The tale she told was one of cosmic proportions, a cycle of creation and destruction that had played out countless times across the multiverse. The Forge of Destiny, they learned, was not a tool but a fragment of the primordial force that had shaped reality itself. And the beings they'd encountered, Nexus, the Echoes, even the Jivriks in their original form, were all players in a grand cosmic drama that had been unfolding since the dawn of time. "So what does this mean for us?" Zara asked, her young face etched with worry. "Are we just pawns in some cosmic game?" Ilara shook her head, a fire burning in her eyes. "No, we're more than that. We've been given the power to break the cycle, to heal the wounds in reality and bring balance to the multiverse. But it won't be easy. The forces we're up against are beyond anything we faced before." Miguel stood, his posture resolute. "Then we'll face them together. The Celestial Ark and its crew have overcome impossible odds before. We'll do it again." As the crew dispersed to prepare for the challenges ahead, Ilara found herself drawn back to the holographic display of the multiverse. But now, with her newfound knowledge, she saw it in a new light. Each reality was not just a potential adventure, but a thread in a vast cosmic tapestry, one that they now had the power to reshape. The weight of this responsibility was immense, but Ilara felt a sense of purpose that went beyond mere survival or exploration. They had the chance to heal wounds that had festered since the beginning of time, to bring hope to realities that had known only despair. But as she contemplated their next move, a nagging doubt crept into her mind. The echoes they'd faced were once living beings, fragments of destroyed realities. In their quest to save the multiverse, how many more would they have to sacrifice? Where was the line between necessary action and becoming the very destroyers they sought to stop? These moral quandaries would have to wait, however. The tier they discovered was growing, threatening to unleash more echoes, and possibly worse, into the multiverse. They needed to act, and act soon. As Ilara called the crew together to plan their next mission, she couldn't shake the feeling that they were standing on the precipice of something monumental. The echoes of the past were crying out for resolution, and the future of all realities hung in the balance. The Celestial Ark, once a symbol of humanity's survival, had become the key to the survival of existence itself. As they prepared to plunge into the unknown once more, Ilara silently vowed to honor the trust placed in them, not just by Nexus or the people of Earth, but by every being in every reality that was counting on them, whether they knew it or not. The final battle for the fate of the multiverse was about to begin, and the crew of the Celestial Ark would be at its heart. Dawn of a new era. The Celestial Ark hovered at the edge of the reality tear, its hull thrumming with barely contained power. Inside, the crew made their final preparations for what could be their greatest challenge yet. Dr. Ilara Chen stood at the center of the bridge, her eyes closed in concentration as she communed with the ship's systems. Captain Miguel Reyes watched her with a mixture of awe and concern, knowing the toll these connections took on her. "Are you sure about this, Ilara?" he asked softly. "Once we cross that threshold, there may be no coming back." Ilara opened her eyes, a smile tugging at the corners of her mouth despite the gravity of the situation. "Miguel, we passed the point of no return the moment we left Earth. Whatever lies beyond that tier, we face it together." Around them, the crew worked with focused intensity. Zara plotted impossible courses through the twisted geometries of the tier. Raj coaxed every ounce of power from the Ark systems, pushing the ship to its limits and beyond. Lyra coordinated with the security teams, preparing for any threat they might encounter. As final checks were completed, Ilara addressed the crew, her voice resonating through every part of the ship. "What we do today will echo across all realities. We carry with us the hopes of countless beings, the trust of guardians beyond our comprehension, and the weight of all that has been lost. But we also carry the best of humanity, our resilience, our compassion, and our unwavering spirit. Whatever we face on the other side, remember, we are the crew of the Celestial Ark, and we will not fail." With a collective deep breath, they plunged into the tier. The transition was unlike anything they had experienced before. Reality itself seemed to fragment around them, shards of what might have been, and what could be swirling in a maelstrom of cosmic energy. The Ark shuddered and groaned, its systems straining to maintain cohesion in this realm beyond physics. As they pushed deeper into the tier, they began to see glimpses of other realities, worlds where Earth had never fallen, where the Givriks had triumphed, where entirely different forms of life had evolved to sentience. It was beautiful and terrifying in equal measure. But at the heart of it all, they found something unexpected, a vast, pulsating core of pure creation energy, the true forge of destiny, the wellspring from which all realities flowed. And surrounding it, locked in an eternal struggle, were beings of unimaginable power. On one side, the full might of Nexus, guardians of cosmic balance. On the other, writhing masses of shadow and unlight, the void echoes, remnants of destroyed realities seeking to unmake all of existence. As the Ark approached, both forces turned their attention to the newcomers. In that moment, Ilara understood the true nature of the conflict that had shaped the multiverse for eons. "It's a cycle," she breathed, the realization washing over her. "Creation and destruction, locked in an endless dance. But it's out of balance, tipping towards oblivion." Miguel nodded grimly. "So how do we stop it?" Before Ilara could respond, the ship rocked violently. Void echoes swarmed around them, their very touch corroding the Ark's hull. Nexus's forces moved to intercept, but the battle was chaotic, with the Ark caught in the middle. Shields at 30% and falling. Lyra shouted over the din, "We can't take much more of this." Ilara's mind raced. They couldn't defeat either force through conventional means. Both were too vast, too fundamental to the fabric of reality. But perhaps, "Raj," she called out, "divert all power to the ethereal core. Zara, plot a course directly into the forge. Everyone else, brace for impact." The crew looked at her in shock, but years of trust overrode their disbelief. As one, they'd moved to carry out her orders. The Celestial Ark surged forward, its systems pushed beyond all safe limits. Void echoes and Nexus forces alike scattered before its charge. As they approached the swirling heart of the forge, Ilara reached out with her mind, connecting not just with the ship, but with the very essence of creation itself. In that moment of connection, she saw the truth with perfect clarity. The multiverse didn't need guardians or destroyers. It needed balance, a force that could understand both the necessity of endings and the promise of new beginnings. With every fiber of her being, every synapse of her mind, and every quantum of the Ark's incredible power, Ilara willed that balance into existence. The forge exploded in a nova of impossible colors. Reality twisted, reformed, and was born anew. The Ark, its crew, the Nexus Guardians, and the Void Echoes, All were caught in the wave of cosmic rebirth. When awareness returned, they found themselves in a transformed realm. The tear was gone, replaced by a shimmering lattice of interconnected realities. The forge pulsed at the center, no longer a source of conflict, but a wellspring of infinite possibility. Ilara opened her eyes to find herself standing on the surface of the forge itself, the crew of the Ark beside her. But they were changed, transcended beyond their former selves. They had become living embodiments of the balance they had created. A figure coalesced before them, not Nexus as they had known it, but a new being that encompassed both the drive to preserve and the need for renewal. "You have done what we could not," the being spoke, its voice resonating through multiple layers of reality. "You have brought true balance to the multiverse. The cycle of creation and destruction will continue, but now it will be guided by wisdom and compassion." Miguel stepped forward, his form shimmering with newfound power. "What happens now? To us, to the Ark, to all the realities we've known." The being gestured, and the lattice of realities shimmered around them. "You are no longer bound to a single ship or a single reality. You have become the new caretakers of the multiverse. The celestial Ark is everywhere and everywhen, a promise of hope and a bastion against despair." As understanding dawned, Ilara felt a surge of emotion, joy, trepidation, and an overwhelming sense of purpose. They had started this journey as refugees, fleeing the doomed Earth. Now they stood as cosmic guardians, with the power to nurture and guide the development of countless realities. "It won't be easy," she said, looking at her crew, her family. "We'll face challenges we can't even imagine, but we'll face them together, as we always have." Zara, her young face now bearing the wisdom of eons, smiled. "Where do we start?" Ilara turned her gaze to the shimmering lattice of realities. In each one, she could sense the echoes of their journey. The Earth they had left behind, the civilizations they had encountered, the lives they had touched. But she could also sense infinite possibilities, countless worlds and beings in need of guidance and protection. "We start," she said, her voice filled with determination, "by keeping our promise. To be a beacon of hope, to fight for those who cannot fight for themselves, and to ensure that no reality ever faces the darkness alone." As one, the crew of the Celestial Ark, now so much more than they had ever dreamed, stepped forward into their new role as guardians of the multiverse. The ship that had been their home dissolved around them, its essence merging with the cosmic lattice. They were no longer bound by the limits of physical form or linear time. They could be anywhere, anywhen, bringing balance and hope to realities in need. The Celestial Ark had become a legend, a myth, a promise whispered across the cosmos, that no matter how dark the night, a new dawn would always come. And at the heart of it all, Ilara and her crew remained true to the spirit that had carried them across the stars. They were explorers, peacekeepers, scientists, and dreamers. They were human in all the best ways that word had come to mean. As they set out on their eternal journey, Ilara felt a sense of peace she had never known before. They had not just saved humanity or even a single universe. They had ensured that the great cosmic story would continue, filled with wonder, challenge, and the infinite potential for growth and change. The Celestial Ark's journey had ended, but for Ilara and her crew, and for the countless realities under their care, the greatest adventure was just beginning. In the depths of space, in the heart of stars, in the quiet moments between heartbeats, a whisper could be heard across all realities. "Look up, look forward, for the Celestial Ark sails on, forever and always, a promise of hope in the cosmic night."